and that's what I saw on the defensive side of the floor. LeBron just didn't. He looked slow out there guarding Kevin Durant. It's Kevin Durant is just unstoppable right now. We'll get to that later, but LeBron just. There were a few times where Kevin Durant would just get the ball on a closeout, and LeBron would just slip to the ground, and KD would not even make a move, just go right past him. LeBron just looked slowed and tired.
Didn't look as locked in game
no.
one as I thought he'd be.
He was locked in on the offensive side of the ball. He was attacking. He was getting to the rim. He was getting his teammates open shots. And when you look at team stats here, Cavaliers only shot 35% from the field, 35% from three-point range. That needs to go way up. If they're going to win this series at all, we're going to have a chance. But the turnovers, which is a huge problem for the Cavaliers, 20-4. Golden State only had 4 turnovers in that game, which is incredible. And, personal fouls were about the same. Another key stat I saw was points in the paint. The Warriors had 56 points in the paint and 27 fast break points. So, what I saw in Game 1, and, we'll get to Game 2 next, but in Game 1, the Warriors were just playing their brand of basketball. It was high-paced, a lot of shots going up. They were spaced out. They were moving off the basketball. And what we saw from Cavaliers was they were mainly going, LeBron James and Kyrie Irving kind of taking turns of who goes one-on-one, who goes pick and roll. Basically, they weren't really involving the rest of their team the way I thought the Warriors' star players were. And then in the second half, Kevin Durant and Stephen Curry just took over. So, that's Game 1. What you see in Game 2? They were kind of similar games, but what were some of the differences you saw in Game 2?
Well, I noticed in Game 2, the Cavaliers kind of took a different approach compared to Game 1. Where in Game 1, they kind of had LeBron attacking early. In Game 2, Kevin Love, he really showed up. He was aggressive with his shot. I thought he played a phenomenal game. He was fantastic. Klay Thompson in Game 2, he kind of looked like the old Klay Thompson we saw before.
Yeah.
But, the Warriors really dictated the tempo in both Game 1 and Game 2. I thought they were running. They looked like they were moving faster. They were making the right play all the time. They were playing tough defense, and I really think that Oracle Arena energy in the stadium really fed into their defense and offense for this side of the game.
Yeah, that's the thing that a lot of people are underrating with the Warriors, their defense. The Cavaliers scored 113 points. They were getting their buckets and stuff, but the Warriors, when they needed to play defense, they locked down the Cavaliers, and that's something I was saying going into the series. Both teams are just loaded offensively, but the Warriors just have enough players where they can just match up with the Cavaliers a little bit better to stop their primary scorers. And, what I saw in Game 2 is Stephen Curry actually struggled early on. He had 8 turnovers in the game. I think 6 of them were in the first half. The Warriors were very sloppy to start the game, and that's what kept the Cavaliers in it. And, LeBron James was just on another level in the first half of that game. He didn't shoot a single shot outside of the paint in the first half.
That's what LeBron needs
that's what he needs to do.
Yeah.
And you talk about Klay Thompson having a bounce-back game. Game 1, he only shot 3 of 16. That's another surprising thing with the Warriors, blowing out the Cavaliers by 22 points in Game 1. Klay Thompson didn't have a good game at all. They only had 2 guys in scoring in double figures, KD and Stephen Curry. And, we saw what can happen with Klay Thompson finally getting his stroke back in Game 2. And he was really good. He made some ridiculous three-point shots out there for them. But, on the Cavaliers side, Kyrie did not have a good game at all for the Cavaliers. I'm looking at his box score here. He shot 8 of 23 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3, 3 turnovers, minus 17 plus minus, which is it is what it is. But, the role players didn't do anything for them either. They weren't making their shots. No, they weren't making their threes at all. Kevin Love had a good game. One thing that's really surprising to me is in the series in both games so far is Tristan Thompson has done absolutely nothing. He only had 4 rebounds in Game 2. In Game 1, he only had, let's look at this here. He only had 4 rebounds in both games, 8 rebounds total. And, for the Warriors, my favorite player, not really, but JaVale McGee in only 6 minutes had 4 rebounds in Game 1. And then in Game 2, JaVale McGee, Shaq's favorite player. He almost outproduced Klay Thompson in both games, and he only played
Tristan Thompson.
Yeah. He only played 10 minutes total.
Wow.
With both games combined, and that's just the Cavaliers can't have that. If they're going to have any success in this series, and for it to not be a 4 or 5 game series.
Yeah.
So, you know,
last year, I mean, Tristan Thompson was just such a huge difference maker.
He was a dominant rebounder.
He would
for
just,
them.
crash the glass, really create a lot of problems for the Warriors on the glass, making extra possessions and offense, you know, getting the defensive rebounds. And this series, he's been a no-show so far.
He's disappeared.
We need to put out a missing person label for Tristan Thompson. Where are you at, Tristan?
Yeah, he's gone MIA. I think a lot of that has to do with the Warriors, though. I think their big guys are a lot better than people gave them credit for going to the series, because a lot of people were thinking, oh, they lost Andrew Bogut. You know, how are they going to defend the rim? How are they going to rebound? You know, let's not forget, Kevin Durant's 7 feet tall.
Yeah, he can basically play the 1 through 5 position.
Basically.
Anywhere on the court.
You know, Zaza Pachulia, you know, he doesn't have a big role in their team, but he does exactly what he's asked to do. He's out there to take up size, you know, beat people up, get rebounds, you know, be a physical presence for them. He only plays about like 10, 15 minutes a game. That's all they need him to do is just go out there and just be physical for them, get rebounds for them and stuff. But JaVale McGee offers a different aspect where he's more athletic. He can run the floor a bit, catch lobs.
More of a shot blocker.
More of a shot blocker. And then, you know, David West. People forget about David West. You know, old guy.
The old vet.
The old veteran, you know. And he's a big physical player, too. He's not a great rebounder or anything, but he plays physical. And he's got some skill on offense, too.
He's definitely bang the bodies down low in the paint.
Yeah.
You know.
When you look at the Cavaliers, they only got Klay Thompson, Kevin Love, and Channing Frye as their main bigs. They have no one else that can really go out there and play.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's one of the things. If they can't get an advantage on the glass going forward, you know, they're not going to beat the Warriors, you know, going small ball. There's just no way. And they tried to do that in Game 2 from what I saw. They played more Richard Jefferson at the 4 spot. And, you know, it just didn't really work. You know, you're not going to beat the Warriors at a fast-paced small ball game.
No, not at all.
And that's something going in to Cleveland and Games 3 and 4 that they're going to have to look at and try and adjust that a little bit. So, more specifically, looking at the Warriors, they won Game 1 and Game 2. What did you see from them, starting with Kevin Durant? What did you see from Kevin Durant so far?
I saw Kevin Durant. He really came out and dominated the first 2 games of the series. He's been really aggressive on offense and on the defensive side of the ball. If you don't mind, what was his defensive stats in Game 2? He was really locked in.
Yeah, he was, I believe he had 5 blocks. I'm checking it right now. He had 3 steals and 5 blocks in Game 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen a Kevin Durant this locked in on the defensive side of the ball.
I mean, I've always thought he's been, like, underrated defensively. He's never been a great defender or anything like that, but I've always felt like...
But now he's just playing at another level.
I've always felt like it's kind of a LeBron thing where he's got, like, not quite LeBron, because LeBron in Miami was definitely a lockdown defender.
Yeah.
It was always like, if you needed Kevin Durant to make a defensive play, he could do it for you, you know. He just had so much responsibilities on the offensive side of the ball.
He had to
save his energy. Yeah. But yeah, now he doesn't have to do that anymore. He fits into their system perfectly. He can play off ball, he can play on ball.
Yep.
You know, he doesn't have to take over for the Warriors.
Another ball handler. He can pass the ball, create a shot, set up his teammates.
He's really doing a good job of picking his spots of when to attack and when to settle down and just play more of a team game. And, you know, his defense has been phenomenal in this series. He took in the challenge of guarding LeBron. You know, he hasn't slowed down LeBron, but he's making it a little bit tougher for him. He's making him expend more energy.
Making him earn his points.
Exactly. And LeBron's been playing great so far, but, you know, we'll get to LeBron a little bit later, but, you know, he's definitely done a good job of kind of tiring LeBron out, which is really hard to do. The guy's, like, the most perfectly conditioned athlete in the entire world. And, Kevin Durant's been amazing so far. He's scored 38 points in Game 1, 33 points in Game 2. He's had a double-double in each game. He's been lights out, and he's making ridiculous three-point shots. I mean, he can make it from 30-plus feet with ease. And
absolutely.
The Cavaliers just have no answer for him.
And, I mean, he's really been, I would say, compared from his first finals to his second NBA finals, there's definitely been a big maturity growth since then, and he's looking a lot more composed and not as nervous this time around.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. You know, he didn't play bad in his first finals. He shot 55%, averaged over 30 a game, you know. So it wasn't, you know, there wasn't, like, from a stat perspective, it wasn't like he had to, like, jump up that far on the offensive side of the ball. It's more the defensive side of the ball where he's making more of an impact, kind of being that last line of defense for the Warriors, just making game-changing plays. And he's taken on, he's not scared of LeBron anymore on that side of the floor.
Yeah.
He's took the challenge. He's done a really good job. The Robin, KD's Batman, Stephen Curry. What are you seeing from Stephen Curry so far?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Steph's been great so far. In Game 2, his shooting was a little poor to start off, but I mean, that second half, he just lit him up. He was, he finished with a triple-double for a point guard. He's doing what his team needs him to do. He's not turning the ball over. He's playing like MVP Steph. He's had a great series so far, and he's definitely been a big factor for the Warriors.
Yeah. He had a little bit of a bad first half in Game 2, but overall he's been MVP Steph that we've been wanting to see in the finals for a long time. I think Kevin Durant has really helped Stephen Curry just take pressure off him because he had to be the guy in the previous 2 series, and now he can just, if he's having a bad game, he can defer to Kevin Durant.
Yep.
So now he's just playing with a whole lot more freedom, and you can see it. And I gotta say that play on LeBron in Game 2 where he just that was dirty.
Putting him on skates.
Sure. And, a lot of people are saying that was a double dribble. I mean...
Does the NBA even call it double dribble, though?
No one was calling it a double dribble until they saw, super slow-mo replays, the day after,
Yeah.
So, that's a dumb argument, I feel like. And, LeBron travels and, creates an offensive foul every single time he drives the lane anyway. So, I mean, they're not... Come on.
They're not going to call that.
It's a great move, and if the Warriors end up winning this series, that's probably going to be the definitive play from this series, probably,
or
going to the future.
That KD dunk in Game 1 on the baseline where LeBron went flying by. That was a great shot of him dunking.
Both of them are great highlights. That's going to be Steph's highlight for his career, though.
Yeah.
It's kind of reminded me, I was thinking when he's making the play, he's going to get stuff like LeBron, like he did in last year's series.
Yeah.
And this time he was able to slip away from LeBron and just get it over. I think Kevin Love's a help defender. He came a little bit late, and he just put it up and went in. And
still a great finish, though.
Great finish.
Yeah.
And, the other Splash brother, Klay Thompson, he had a really good game in Game 2 after a really subpar game in Game 1, as we discussed. He's 3 for 16 in Game 1. He seemed to get his confidence back in Game 2. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. He was taking the shots when it was given to him.
Mm-hmm.
On defensive side of the ball, he's doing what he usually does. He's a great defender, but on offense, he looked a little more comfortable shooting. Definitely broke out of his slump, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, he was making ridiculous bombs out there.
Yeah.
And he looked like Klay Thompson that we're used to seeing. And I think with Kevin Durant there is a little bit more of an adjustment for him rather than Curry and Draymond, because Draymond he doesn't need the score to be effective.
Yep.
Stephen Curry, he's going to get buckets regardless.
Yes.
Klay Thompson needs other guys to set him up, I feel like, as opposed to Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant who can create their own shots. So I feel like at times this season, Klay Thompson has kind of forced shots up because he feels like he's not going to get those shots.
Yeah.
And, he still brings it defensively. He's doing a great job on Kyrie Irving throughout the entire series so far. But, if he's making his shots,
it's just
forward,
a whole nother element.
I mean, we saw him get killed by the Cavaliers get killed by 20 in Game 1, and Klay Thompson was garbage in that game. He was terrible on the offensive side of the ball. If we're being straight up honest, brutally honest here.
Yeah.
And in Game 2, he was excellent, and I don't know how you stop that. 132 points. I think they had 2 40-point quarters.
Wow.
I mean,
that's incredible.
You can't stop them.
No.
So, we talked about the Warriors now. Going over to the Cavaliers, I think it all starts and stops with LeBron. What have you seen from LeBron so far?
Yeah, I mean, LeBron has definitely been aggressive through the first 2 games.
Yep.
In my opinion, I think at times I've almost seen LeBron try to do too much with the basketball.
Yeah, I think so.
With the 8 turnovers in Game 1. I know the Cavaliers role players definitely need to step up.
Yep, that is true.
But at times I'm just watching LeBron and he's kind of just dribbling and not getting the ball movement that they need. And then it's late in the shot clock and they end up taking a bad shot. And then Golden State gets the ball, runs down the floor, and hits a 3-pointer in their face, Yep. I think LeBron, I think what the Cavaliers need to do basically is they need to get Kyrie Irving going early in the game.
Yeah.
I think they need to get Kevin Love going early in the game because LeBron can get going at any point in the game. He can get a basket whenever he needs to at times. But I think it's important to get his teammates' confidence up, get them going, get them playing well, and then have LeBron get his. And I think that's a key formula for them to do better in these next 2 games.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I've seen from LeBron, he's in his first half, he's trying to make a knockout punch.
Yep.
He's trying to get the Warriors on their heels right away, and he's expending so much energy trying to basically just get the Cavaliers a giant lead early on, and the Warriors are so good that it's just not happening for him. So they're going down these second halves, and he's just exhausted in these second halves, and he's just. When he's got, it kind of reminds me of the 2014 series when he was at Miami against the Spurs, where the Spurs, they were just moving the ball around everywhere and they were scoring lights out.
Yeah.
And there wasn't one guy for the Spurs. Everyone was just on fire in that series for them. And LeBron's doing all he can. He's getting his good numbers and stuff. But late in the games, you just see as the Spurs pull away, you see that look on his face where he's exhausted and he's deferring. He's not really being aggressive. I seen that both in game 1 and game 2 where he's kind of mentally checked out in the second half. He's gotten tired. He's put it all out there, and he sees the Warriors getting up by 20. He's just like, there's nothing else I can do out here, And you can see it in the post game interviews. If I've been watching those on ESPN a little bit. They ask him questions. He's like, what do you want me to do? Basically, he's not quite saying it, but you can tell by his facial expressions and stuff. He's just kind of like, what can I do? I can only do so much.
Yeah.
And they're just an amazing team that we're going up against.
Now let me ask you this though: would you have someone else guard KD for the Cavaliers? Now I know.
Well, they've already been doing that.
Yeah, because basically Kevin Durant's gonna get his points,
yeah.
so it's almost worth LeBron spending his energy trying to check him when Kevin Durant is basically unguardable.
I listened to Tyronn Lue in his press conference today before Game 3, which is tomorrow, and he kind of said they like LeBron starting off each half guarding KD, to try and keep it physical with KD, maybe get him off his game a little bit. And then they go to other options to give a different look and give LeBron a rest.
Yeah.
I think that strategy's fine going forward because LeBron's,
if you can kind of throw him off his game early, maybe KD won't have a big
exactly.
impact.
So I don't think it's defensively. Although LeBron does need to bring it defensively, he hasn't been very good defensively
he has not been locked
in this series.
Last year.
Last year he was locked in.
Yeah.
This year I haven't seen. He's looked old and slow in this series. I don't know if he's just tired. Maybe he's just he's probably not used to playing this pace either.
Yeah.
The Warriors have been playing their game. They're going up and down the court.
Oh, yeah.
And the Cavaliers have kind of played into it. I think they're used to more of that Eastern Conference slow, methodical type of basketball.
Half-court offense.
That's something they're going to have to do going forward.
Yeah.
And, the question has come up, does LeBron have enough help? My response to that is it's LeBron's team that he put together personally. He said he wanted Tristan Thompson to get overpaid. He said he wanted J.R. Smith to get overpaid and come in. He wanted these guys to come in. He wanted Kevin Love. He wanted Kyrie Irving on this team. So, that argument that, he has no help, a lot of that's on LeBron.
Yeah.
And they've built their entire offensive system around him and Kyrie going one-on-one and kicking out the shooters. Whereas with the Warriors, they have a system, but the players, are just not a product of the system. But, they all play within a team system.
Yep.
The system is LeBron in this case. And, he hasn't gotten as much help, which we'll get to in a bit. But, I think a lot of that's on LeBron. What do you think?
Yeah, I think for the Cavaliers and LeBron, I agree 100% with what you say.
Mm-hmm.
I saw, for the Warriors, I see a lot more cutting. I see a lot more movement, where for the Cavaliers, it's a lot more ISO, attack, and dish, and I don't think that's a formula for winning an NBA final.
And another thing is it tires out Kyrie and LeBron because
if you have them going at it one-on-one every possession.
So that's just going to wear them down as the series and games go along. Yeah. So they're going to have to change that up. And LeBron has been playing well.
He has,
he's played really good. But if he's going to be considered the king, the best player in the world, challenge Michael Jordan, he's going to have to pick his spots a little bit better. I agree with you. They got to get Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love involved early on. Get those guys scoring in the first half. Yeah. Have LeBron pick and choose his spots of when to contribute in the first half, scoring wise. But I see him more as I think he should be more of a facilitator And then when the Warriors go on their runs, which they will go on their runs eventually, LeBron can then step it up then. And then the second half, he's got enough energy then where he can just take over and attack the rim. And when he's attacking the rim, he's been unstoppable.
Yeah.
So I think if he can just pick and choose his spots better, that'll help the Cavaliers immensely. So, speaking of Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, what have you seen from them so far?
Kevin Love, he had a phenomenal game too. I think he had like 27 points and a lot of rebounds. Kyrie Irving, I've heard a report that he might not be as healthy as he was last year in the NBA Finals.
Mm-hmm.
I know right before the end of the regular season, he had that knee problem.
Yeah.
They're saying he's kind of making him slower and maybe not. He's kind of been playing through some pain. And, I've kind of seen him that game too. He looked a little bit slower than he has before.
He has. The Cavaliers just look slower in general.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's just like the Warriors are just on a different level of speed and athleticism. But Kyrie Irving, he struggled this series for sure. Kevin Love's been a pleasant surprise for me. I thought he would struggle again.
Yeah.
But he's been really good. He had 21 rebounds in the first game. And he didn't shoot well in the first game, but, again, game 2, he was on fire. He was playing well. He's been good number 2 for LeBron. And I agree, they have to get him involved more early. And Kyrie, you got Klay Thompson guarding him. You don't look slow when you got Klay Thompson shutting you down like that. Kyrie Irving went off in last year's finals, and people forget he only averaged 18 points per game in the first 2 games last year.
Yeah.
He didn't play particularly well at all in the first 2 games last year of last year's finals. So I think he can pick it up again, but we'll have to see. I think a more pressing issue is the role players, the other guys for the Cavaliers. Like, what are you seeing out there from them?
Yeah, they basically, for the role players, they're all fitted to be basically spot-up shooters for LeBron. And, in Game 1, Kyle Korver, Darren Williams, even Shumpert, they all haven't really been hitting their shots, and they've really kind of been a liability since they haven't been able to do it, because none of them are particularly known for their defense. And if they're not contributing on the offensive side of the ball...
They're kind of useless out there.
Exactly. So I think, especially J.R. Smith, too. I had him as my X factor, and I know he's been having to check Klay Thompson and all that. I think I saw he only had, 2 shots in Game 2.
Yeah. He hasn't been engaged at all. And he's had more fouls than points in this. Yeah. Bad fouls, too. He's in a couple, fouls where he fouled a 3-point shooter. Yeah. And that's just stupid against the Warriors. that's 3 guaranteed points.
Yeah. What have you seen for the Warriors role players?
Yeah, they've all played well. Again, JaVale McGee's done his role. Andre Iguodala's done well off the bench for them. He had a few big shots in Game 1. Didn't really do much in Game 2, but he didn't really need to. Mm-hmm. Livingston's got a few buckets here and there.
He had 10 points in Game 2. That's solid off the bench.
Yep. And again, they're big guys. They have a rotation of big guys. They all come in and play well. McCaw's given them decent minutes. He hasn't really made that much of an impact. Ian Clark's been pretty decent out there. It's really about their big 4. Draymond, KD, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. Those guys just come in. I mean, the difference between them and the Cavaliers role players, again, they can play defense. Yeah. Cavaliers players are just one-dimensional shooters. Yeah. Again, that's what LeBron wanted. Yeah. He wanted more shooters to help spacing with him, so he can have more driving lanes. It's just, that's what happens. You live by the 3, you die by the 3. That's the old saying goes. And the Cavaliers have relied more on the 3-point shot than the Warriors had this season.
That just shocked me. Yeah. And when he told me in Game 1, all the points in the paint for the Warriors, I thought, without a doubt, the Cavaliers, that's their bread and butter. That's how they're going to take a few games in this series.
Yeah, no, they're
going to dominate the paint. But, the Warriors, they've been not only scoring in the paint, but been playing defense at the rim better than the Cavaliers, in my opinion. Yeah,
the Cavaliers don't have any shot blockers.
Yeah.
Tristan Thompson's not a shot blocker. Kevin Love's definitely not a shot blocker. Channing Frye is not a shot blocker, and they don't have anybody else coming off the bench. In years past for LeBron, he had a guy like Birdman come in and
I would make an argument for Tristan Thompson. He's kind of a shot blocker.
He's all right. He's not like a dominant shot blocker, though.
No,
he's not recognized as a great shot blocker. Or legitimate. He can do it at times, but he's more of a rebounding.
I'd say he's above average for me.
Yeah, even if he is, he's the only guy on their team. Yeah, and
they don't have a great shot blocker.
Yeah, they don't have a backup big that can come in. That's what they thought. Andrew Bogut would be that guy. He got injured. They thought Larry Sanders could be that guy, but he's got other issues going on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and the Cavaliers just struggled. But I think going home, the role players will step up. Because role players do play better at home than they do on the road.
Yeah.
It's a common thing in the NBA. But as we know, this series is all about the stars. KD versus LeBron. That was a matchup we'd all been waiting for. And a lot of people have been saying, KD, the way he's playing, has he surpassed LeBron as being that best player in the world? I don't necessarily agree with that quite yet, but what do you think?
Yeah, I don't agree with that either. I think if you put LeBron on this Golden State team, he would just be doing the exact same thing Kevin Durant has. I think if you put KD on this Cleveland team, he would struggle more than LeBron has. So I still think LeBron is the best player in the world.
Like, to me, it's close. Because, KD is just, he's a more skilled player than LeBron in terms of his ball handling, shooting ability. He's more lengthy, But LeBron is still, he's carrying that team. I mean, he's, KD, like I said, KD is fit into the Warriors system. Yeah. LeBron is the Cavaliers system.
Yep.
So, but, if the series keeps on going the way it is and KD continues to impress and elevate his game, and LeBron, we keep on seeing him, he's putting up good numbers, but he's not really impacting the game.
Yeah.
To an extent. He's put up good numbers, like I said, but they've kind of been, not empty numbers, but just you look at the box score and you're more impressed by the box score than you are watching the game.
Yeah.
I feel like. KD and Stephen Curry have just been more impressive to me if I'm just watching the game. During the game, they're just more impressive. But, so that's game 1 and 2. Game 3 and 4 are in Cleveland. The Cavaliers have a chance to, even the series with their home crowd. What do the Cavs need to do in order to do that, though? Because it's a giant uphill battle for them.
It is. I think, it will help them being back at home, but I think the Cavaliers definitely need to slow down the pace of the game. Mm-hmm. They need to really limit the Warriors' transition points. I think they need to take care of the ball better so they can't run and score on them like that. I think LeBron needs to be locked in more defensively as long as the other Cavaliers players. I think, the role players also need to step up for the Cavaliers. What do you think?
Yeah, I expect the role players to be better.
Yeah.
That's because, again, they always play better at home. It's a common trope in the NBA. They need to slow down the pace. That's the most important thing to me because, LeBron, he's going full out in these first halves of these games, and by the second half, he's just done. He's got no gas left. They just need to slow down the pace, and LeBron, if they want to go keep with their isolation type of offense, a slower pace is better for that.
Yeah. Because
they're expending more energy going 1-on-1 than they would be just playing, moving the ball, and letting other guys do stuff on offense. So I think a slower pace is needed, and no one can guard LeBron 1-on-1, and Kyrie is one of the better 1-on-1 players in the game.
Definitely.
So, that's something they can do is slow the pace down. Don't make it a track meet with the Warriors. You're not going to win that battle. But, other than that, there's really not much they can do because it really comes down to all the Warriors hitting their shots and because the Cavaliers just can't match up with them on defense. Because if you're going to have LeBron not guarding KD, you can expect KD to go off. I mean, he's going to go off with LeBron guarding regardless. But, KD is just unbelievable so far. And Stephen Curry, if he keeps on playing the way he's been playing, Klay Thompson, if he keeps on shooting the way he's shooting, I just don't see how it's even a matchup. I had the Cavaliers, losing in 6. Yeah. And that was assuming they'd win game 1.
Yeah.
So I think the Cavaliers will win one game, either 3 or 4 at Cleveland. But, it's going to be one of those, nip and tuck games where the Warriors just, have just an off night, offensively. I feel like one of the games is going to be a blowout for the Warriors, and the Cavaliers will squeak out a win where the Warriors just aren't on their game. Yeah. That's what I see happening. What do you see happening?
Yeah, I mean, I think going back home, honestly, the way that the Warriors have been playing, it's not a popular opinion, but I honestly think the Cavaliers can make this still a series. They're back home. All they got to do is defend home court, just like the Warriors can. I mean, they can send this back to Game 5 tied 2 apiece, and I think it's definitely possible. They got the home crowd behind them.
Yep.
I think, LeBron, he just watched his team get embarrassed twice on national TV, and I think he's going to have them ready to go, and I think, in my opinion, they could take Game 3 and 4 still.
Yeah, we'll see. Should be fun to watch. Hopefully the games are better just from a competitive standpoint throughout the entire game. That's something we were looking forward to in this series. Whoever won, how many games it was, we were looking forward to, the best basketball of the year, basically. And we see them in the first half of these games.
We've seen glimpses of it, but
he just hasn't been there for the entire 48
4
minutes.
quarters.
So hopefully that happens.
Yeah.
So that's our talk for Game 1 and 2. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. Follow us on Twitter as well. We have the Twitter page up. And if you want to see our NBA Finals preview, we didn't upload that, but let us know in the comment sections below whether you want to see that or not. Thanks, guys, for listening, and I'm Andrew.
And I'm Travis. Thanks for watching, guys.